Season 1 for MW3 has finally come out, and with it has brought so many changes to the game, with new changes to the AI, reworks to the camo system, and weapon leveling, as well as different bug fixes and changes to certain equipment and weapons. In this video, we're not going to go over every single thing. We're going to go over all the points that I think are the biggest for this update specifically. That's how I like doing my update videos. Go over the specific key points, the big changes, what's added, things like that. I'm Nomad, and if you enjoy everything MWZ, that's what this channel is about. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all things MWZ. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and drop a like on this video because not only does it help me, but it helps the channel grow, and honestly, it just helps the algorithm. Let's get straight into it. First and foremost, they did add a new act. This is Act 4. And with it came one mission, Bad Signal. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of people have already complained. I've done this mission numerous times. I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. The environment is done well. I will say there are a lot of bugs in the environment. Walls disappearing, floors disappearing. There are a bunch of Easter eggs associated with this that haven't fully been worked out and ironed out and completed yet, but we are on the road to finding our answer. Thing about this mission that I want to say straight away, and just in general with this update, we did think that we would get more contracts with Act 4, because as you guys know, Act 3, Act 2, and Act 1, they have so many contracts across the board. Act 4 only had one. Now, this is a big mission. The beginning part is a little but I'm not going to spoil anything for you. If this is anything like DMZ, we are going to get so many more contracts coming throughout the season. That's what they did DMZ, and MWZ follows suit with the way DMZ worked itself out. I will say I do think this mission specifically is building up to something fantastic. We're just going to have to wait and see. With this update came new acquisitions and schematics. As we know, the dog bone allowing us to summon a hellhound immediately at the beginning of a game or at any point. The golden armor plate, the way this works is you bring it into the match, you use it, it applies to your operator, and it heals one armor plate every 4 seconds. So it's constantly generating armor, which is great when you're running around avoiding, especially in the tier 3 zone. Instead of having to plate up, you can just be sprinting and let it plate up automatically. The Aether Blade, infinite ammo throwing knife that chains to multiple enemies. All of these new acquisitions and schematics can be found in the brand new rift, the Aether Rift. Just like all contracts, at the end, a rift is going to open up where it gives you rewards, whether that's perk cans, whatever it may be. You have a chance to receive one of these, as well as other Easter egg related items. Next off, 3 new weapons have been added with the new battle pass: the XRK Stalker, which is a sniper rifle, the Ram 7, which is an assault rifle. Now, the Stormbender I do not think is going to be workable in zombies. It is specifically for enemy equipment. It is not a lethal weapon. Now, you could use it in a legacy stronghold to get rid of those trophy systems, but other than that, it's not going to be workable. I will tell you guys right now, the Ram 7 might be my favorite weapon for zombies. I've been running around with it. I even brought it into the new zone, pack-a-punched it, kitted it out. Super fantastic weapon. I can't wait to get a drum mag on it and see how it performs, but so far, the DPS it puts out is fantastic, so give it a ring. Now, off to the meteor side of the update. A lot of the weapons and equipment have been updated. The Wonder Weapon can now be used fast draw, so if you have it as your secondary, instead of fully swapping weapons, you'll quickly pull it out with your primary still in hand, so you can start laying fire down range. The Scorcher now will automatically fire once it reaches its maximum charge. Camos, whether that's Gold Enigma or just applying a camo to a weapon, those have been completely fixed. So if you guys are grinding camos and some of the stuff has been bugged for you, this has been fixed across the board for all weapons in the game. The crossbow, the Bright Blaze 20-inch bolts have been given a damage reduction, so you no longer can use that, and it won't be as viable against the Abomination like we've seen before. Now, they reduced the damage in the low threat zone by 20, the medium threat by 30, and the high threat zone by 84. They also reduced the damage dealt to special zombies by 80% and elite and boss enemies by 70%. So they made the game a little bit easier, as well as making it more difficult. We're going to take less damage, but we're also going to dish less damage. So this is interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, 80%, 84% less damage in the tier 3 zone. That is drastic. I wonder what these damage numbers are. TYR has seen a damage reduction by 50% across the board, whether it's base, pack-a-punch, whatever it may be. So those snake shot dual wield we will not be able to use, and they won't be as viable. Furthermore, let's talk about the contracts and missions. They fixed the Storm the Castle contract where you had to kill the Warlord. You will now drop the mission-specific item every single time. Now, we no longer have the ability to farm XP with the Spore contract or the Outlast contract because these have been nerfed. Zombies will no longer spawn unless somebody is close to the P&D progressing it. Same with the Safe Cracker as well as Spore Control. They've spread it out. Spore Control no longer will spawn constantly like it was before. The eggs will no longer instantly kill somebody. If you are standing in an area, it is not going to spawn on you. The spawn will rotate based off of where you are in the area. Next off, we have a huge nerf to 2 equipment pieces. The experimental gas grenade damage has been reduced against the Aether Worm. This is reasonable because you could absolutely annihilate the Aether Worm within seconds with the gas grenades. Decoy grenades, now this is probably the most annoying thing with this update, and I do not necessarily agree with it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. They reduce the amount of decoy grenades we can hold from 3 to 2, as well as reduce the duration from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. Now, this isn't the end of the world, but at the end of the day, this is a PvE game mode. I don't think it was that OP. I think it was just workable, and it was a good system to use. You know, the player base found something that they liked, and it was workable. Was it necessarily overpowered? I wouldn't say that, but it was workable. So these changes alone are a little bit different. We're going to have to see how that works out specifically and if it's going to stay. They also updated some kill streaks to Juggernaut and the sentry turrets. Players can no longer kill themselves or others when placing a sentry turret, as well as the Juggernaut will not destroy exfil helicopters on spawn. Last but not least, they updated exfils and the amount of zombies that are going to be spawning on the exfil, especially the final exfil of the match. As we know, this got nerfed roughly a week after launch, and to see it go back to the way it was and potentially better, this is fantastic. Not only are there going to be more zombies on screen, there also are going to be elite spawning, and further down the line throughout this season, it's going to be increased. They're going to do even a bigger buff to it, so this is great to see. Exfils are going to be fantastic. Again, they're just going to be super fun to be, you know, in a high octane moment when you're finally exfilling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's anything else you guys want me to cover specifically, let me know. If there's anything I didn't go over, let me know. I'm new to doing update videos and I want to keep doing it. I want to know what you guys want to hear about it. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel as we cover all things MWZ. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. And as always, guys, stay happy, stay hyped, and have a beautiful time out there in the new Aether Rift.